So often when we go to lose weight, the focus isn't so much on where we want to go, but where we don't want to be, feeling frustrated and overweight. And yet, the mind works better when it's being called forth towards a powerful vision. Today, we are diving into all the different types of visions that we use to keep our minds focused, motivated, and raring to go on a daily, weekly, and long-term weight management basis. So buckle up and join me today as we test drive some of these powerful visions. Did you know that our struggle with weight doesn't start with the food on your plate or get fixed in the gym? 80% of our weight struggle is mental. That's right. The key to unlocking long-term weight release and management begins in your mind. Hi there, I'm Rita Black. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, weight loss expert, best-selling author, and the creator of the Shift Weight Mastery process. And not only have I helped thousands of people over the past 20 years achieve long-term weight mastery, I am also a former weight struggler, carb addict, and binge eater. And after 2 decades of failed diets and fad weight loss programs, I lost 40 pounds with the help of hypnosis. Not only did I release all that weight, I have kept it off for 25 years. Enter the Thin Thinking podcast, where you too will learn how to remove the mental roadblocks that keep you struggling. I'll give you the thin thinking tools, skills, and insights to help you develop the mindset you need, not only to achieve your ideal weight, but to stay there long term and live your best life. Sound good? Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and how are you? Here we are in the middle of February, and so much is going on in my life. Taxes. Who's doing their taxes in the middle of February? I am. I try to get them out of the way. It's just like a dagger hanging over my head until I get them done. I just have to close my eyes and get them done. But also what's going on is my son is now, he's a junior, and all of a sudden we are like, oh my gosh, you're going to have to, you're going to be going away, you're going to college, and we have to get you organized. So we're, thinking about colleges, we're getting that all sort of organized, going on tours and stuff like that. And it's so bittersweet because I can't tell you, I think I have a little PTSD from when my daughter applied to colleges, because my daughter, applied to like 20 colleges. And my daughter is amazing, very ambitious. And my daughter has a very clear vision of her life, right? She's always been like that, super organized, very, never had to bother her to do her homework. She was just like on it, valedictorian, all that stuff, right? And she had a very clear vision. Undergrad school, she knew where she wanted to go. She wanted to go to Berkeley since the 9th grade. That was her dream school, and she got in, which she was very lucky to, and she worked very hard for that. And but she applied to 20 other schools too, just in case, right? Oh my God. So anyway, she undergrad psychology degree, double major, like in stats, then to graduate school in Europe. She wants to go to Europe because she is fluent in German. So she wants to go live there, and do that. Then she wants to get her PhD. Like, this is her trajectory. I'm like, okay, yeah, I support you, whatever you do. Now, who knows? She might end up, I don't know, becoming a surfer in Hawaii, whatever she does, I will love her, but she's very clear on her vision, or she has been. Now, my son, completely opposite. My son's like, I don't know if I believe in college. He gets pretty good grades, but he's just like, yeah, I don't know. He's completely lacking in a vision. I think he knows, he's entrepreneurial. He's got, he's definitely, I believe in my son. I think he's incredibly smart, and he's got, I could see him doing something really interesting. But right now, so what we're doing is trying to help him have a vision, right? We're trying to give him like some ideas and asking him the right questions, because lots of times we kind of need to ask ourselves questions to start to instigate the brain thinking about things. The brain's reticular activating system is a great filtering system. So when you get your mind focused on something, it then kind of like filters away all the unnecessary things so that you can be focused, and it helps, the subconscious mind helps like seek solutions and problem solve and stuff to just align behind that vision, right? So having a vision is very, very helpful. So we've been asking him, what kind of school do you want to go to? Do you want a big school? Do you want a little school? Do you want to, do you want it to be cold? Because he hates California. So he's like, I'm not staying in California. I want to go somewhere where I can, it's cold and it snows. And I was like, really? Every day? Anyway, he's like, yes, every day. I want it to be cold every day, and I want to wear a jacket every day. And, this is him. Now, so those of you who live in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Canada or Scotland or, you're all like sitting there going, yeah, wait until he's, in the middle of the winter. But yeah, that's his thing. So he's getting clear on his vision. So we've been asking him questions. So that's what I would like to do with you today, is just kind of work on some visions, because, I do this a lot with my group, and one of my members was like, I think you should do a podcast on visions, because we work on them so much in our group. And we did something at the very beginning of the year where we reversed engineered visions. Instead of going, okay, where do you want to be a month from now and a year from now? And we did it backwards. We were like, where do you want to be 5 years from now? And then we went backwards, and they loved it. They were like, oh my God, that was so cool. So I think that's what we're going to do today. I want to walk you through visions, and then I'm going to take you through doing some. But I want to read you a little story, and this is a true story, but it's easier for my old brain to just read it. This is out of From Fat to Thin Thinking, my book, and it's the chapter on vision. So Sandy was stuck in a place that you may have experienced. She was focusing on what she didn't want. I don't want to be fat. I haven't thought about what my thin life will look like. I can't do anything until I get out of the suit of blubber I'm wearing. I can't look for a better job. Who would hire me looking like this? I can't date right now. Who would want me? Others at the Shift Weight Mastery process nodded with understanding of Sandy's frustration. Now, I explained to Sandy and the group that not wanting to be fat was not an effective way to use the mind. The mind doesn't process negatives. So by concentrating on what you don't want, you're creating more of it. And when you say, I don't want to be fat, your mind is attending to the words want and fat. Instead, I explained, you want to concentrate on what you do want. That way, the mind can see it and start to move you in that direction. I asked Sandy to close her eyes and take a deep shift breath. And as she did, I said, imagine that you have achieved your ideal weight. Tell me what you see. Where are you? What do you look like? Sandy replied with her eyes still closed, I can see myself at a club dancing. I am wearing a cool red dress and I'm confident and enjoying salsa dancing on the dance floor. And I'm even dancing with someone. And she opened her eyes and asked, is that a good vision? Dancing is a great vision because your dancing will also be a great way of maintaining your ideal weight once you achieve it. How does that vision make you feel now? I asked. I'm excited and determined. I love to wear beautiful dresses, to be feminine and to dance. I don't let myself do any of those things because I'm ashamed and mad at myself. I don't think I can have fun until I get skinny, she said. Really, that's too bad. So here's my invitation. Start dancing now. What? She cried. No way. I can't go out when I have 40 pounds to lose. I argued, dancing is a great way to burn calories, and guess what? You don't have to go out to a club. Start dancing at home. Don't wait until that magical day when you get on the scale at your ideal weight to move your body in the free and fabulous way you described. You have to love yourself down the scale. Give yourself permission to live today. The more you enjoy the journey, the more you will want to keep going. So Sandy took my advice and during her 30-day thin thinking practice began dancing at home as her daily exercise. And as she danced around her apartment, she was releasing weight in a fun way that was in line with her vision. She released 10 pounds during her 30 days and kept going towards her ideal weight vision. And eventually, she ventured out to dance clubs on the weekends. On one of those weekends, Sandy went with her girlfriends to a local club. She was 20 pounds from her goal on that Saturday night when she met Roger at the free salsa lesson. Both beginners, Sandy and Roger became friends and would meet to dance twice a month to practice their moves. They started dating officially, and by the time Sandy reached her ideal weight vision, she and Roger had been dating for 3 months. She celebrated fulfilling her ideal weight by buying a red dress and dancing with Roger at their favorite club. Sandy has continued dancing into her long-term weight mastery for almost 3 years now. Well, now this was written a few years ago, so it's even longer. But I just love that vision, and it's so powerful, when you focus your mind in the right way. So I would like to go through some of the most important visions that I think will help your reticular activation system, help you feel motivated to get through February and March feeling healthier and lighter. And then, like I said, I'm gonna talk through them and then we'll try going through them. So I'm gonna try that idea of reverse engineering. Sorry, I've got my notes here. And I'm gonna start by talking about your 5-year vision. I call this your long-term permanent weight mastery vision. Now, this is probably, well, I have a lot of my visions are favorite visions, but this is so cool. So the idea is that, most of us, when we think of a vision for weight management or weight loss, it's like when we get skinny and our, when we achieve our ideal weight, right? But why the 5-year vision is so powerful for me and why I think it's powerful for your brain is this idea of identity that I talk about so often, is that when you've, like if you're out there 5 years in your future, having maintained your weight for 5 years, that you at your ideal weight 5 years from the time you reach your ideal weight is a different you than that person who has achieved their ideal weight. You follow what I'm saying? Because you have now kept it off for 5 years. You are masterful, right? You've kept it off, and who you are isn't who you were when you first began your maintenance journey. Because maintenance is a journey. It is a journey in and of itself. That you at your ideal weight 5 years in the future you have mastery. You are probably, I like to create, and you'll see because we're going to work on this one, that you're a leader. You're a leader of health, because when you release weight and keep it off long term, people not only notice, but they want what you have, right? So you become a leader of sorts because you can't help it, because people want to know how you've done it, and you start to become a bit of a mentor to people in a way, not necessarily directly, but in many ways. So I always consider that 5-year vision is you are a leader in your community of some sort. I mean, not necessarily, but, just once. I hope this makes sense. So now next up is your ideal weight vision, which is probably the one that we would all think about the most. But, for all of us, ideal weight is an interesting term because many people will get to what they perceive their ideal weight, and often they'll either be like, oh, this isn't what I expected. Maybe I want to release more. And that releasing more isn't necessarily because they want to be skinnier, but they feel like I don't feel different yet. Like I don't feel like I feel different. I've released my weight, but it's and why we really focus on loving ourselves down the scale is so that when we get to our ideal weight, it's not like, oh, I thought the world was going to complete like with Sandy, how I said, you want to start dancing now because it ain't about when you get skinny. It's like you want to love yourself now and start dancing now so that you have a life, because it's not like your whole external life is going to change when you reach your ideal weight. Now, interestingly for me, I reached my ideal weight. I was there for a while, like my skinnier ideal weight. And then for me, I decided to move my ideal weight up a little bit because I really felt for long-term permanent weight management, what it required to be at like my super skinny size or, skinny for me, was it felt like not totally sustainable and loving to myself. Now I consider like I love my body and I am, at a really good weight, like, a great weight. But, I had originally thought I should be skinnier because that's what I thought, like, from, I don't know, from magazines and stuff like that. But so it was a very loving thing for me to alter my ideal weight. And many people who achieve their ideal weight, they might go up a little bit or they might go down a little bit. So it's always that ideal weight is not always like, oh, let me put that number on the map and get to it and it's all going to be perfect. You fudge it a little bit and you figure it out. So, but yeah, we definitely are going to work on that vision of getting to that place and feeling good. Like that was a journey. Who you had to become to get to that place wasn't about not eating or being super at exercise, but it was about problem solving, showing up for yourself and creating a powerful communication system within yourself. So it's a journey of transformation. So I like to do another vision. I don't think we'll be doing this vision just for expediency's sake, but of 3 months. 3 months is a really great because that's about as far out as like, there's that sort of ideal weight and 5-year weight, but that 3 months is more visceral. It's more like, oh, I'm going to be there soon and this is what's going to happen. So we can't, it's hard to think 4 or 5 months out, but 3 months is really, it's, like that's why businesses will plan, their quarters, because a quarter is a very good amount of time. Like the brain can wrap around that pretty easily. So having a 3-month vision, and that is also for people very motivating because usually within a 3-month time frame, you can get significant traction on your weight release, right? Like maybe in a month you can release X amount of weight, like 5 pounds or 4 pounds or 7 pounds or, depending on how quickly you're releasing weight. But 3 months, you'll be releasing 10 pounds or 12 pounds. So it's motivating because it's close enough that like, oh, by the summer, I'm going to be, this is where I'd like to be. And this is my goal. And this is what I'm moving towards. But it's not, but it's not like your ideal weight. It's very, fun and, the sexy goal, I guess, like, ooh, 12 pounds by the summer. Awesome. Like it can really kick your brain into gear. Now, a month is also something that we really focus on in the monthly mastery program. Is like, because I feel like having a monthly goal, again, I don't know how much you know about the shift or what you've done, but like a lot of it is we really focus on using our brain really effectively, and having that month goal is incredibly helpful because we take a very cognitive approach. We're creating a specific goal. How can we achieve it? And we're getting out of the emotion, like being good or bad, but really being like clear ways of releasing weight that we know we can achieve and going for it. And so that month time frame is very helpful for this. Then we have our week goal, like our week vision, our week-long vision, because again, like we can go, I want to lose 5 pounds this week, which, probably for most people isn't very realistic, but having a vision of ending the week feeling lighter, feeling like you showed up for yourself, feeling good, that's a more powerful vision of like, oh yeah, I want to end this week feeling good. What do I need to do in order to do that? That vision is pulling you forward to a feeling, and you'll see in our vision exercises that we are really focused on that feeling, because that really engages the emotion, is what engages the reticular activation system. Because that's, like when I would talk to my son about colleges, I'm not like, like, what does it look like? What does it feel like to be walking on campus, in a cold, snowy place in the middle of winter, and he's like, it feels awesome. It's like, okay. But anyway, what would it feel like to get to Sunday night and instead of feeling bloated and full and regretful and like, oh, I ate too much, just like feeling light, and that you exercised and had a wonderful, healthy weekend, that is going to get your brain making different decisions than the typical brain, which would be like, it's the weekend, it's time to party, right? So then we have our 1-day vision, which again, if you've done work with me, you probably know, like we have these morning meditations where it's really focusing you on the end of the day, and going to bed feeling light and good, getting into bed feeling that you really took care of yourself. You really showed up for yourself for the day. And thinking that in the morning, creating that vision in the morning, we wake up with the most willpower. So we're really leveraging our willpower to create this vision to pull us through the day as a powerful roadmap of self-care, weight mastery. It's a powerful thing to do. So I am going to open up my From Fat to Thin Thinking book again. So pardon the pages turning. Oh, I think I took my little bookmark out. But I'm going to read you. So we're going to do this. We're going to do some vision work, and I'm going to work on the 5-year vision. I am going to do a ideal weight. And then what will we do? I just wanted to do 3. I think that is probably enough. And then we'll do a month, and then we'll do a day. Because I just wanted to have you get the different sensations of those different time frames. So I'm just going to read you a little bit. So these are the important tips for creating your visions. See it. Be patient with your imagination. Sometimes you can see certain things more clearly than others. So as I walk you through these things, maybe you won't see anything very clearly. Many people might say, hey, I'm not that very visual person. So if you can't see it, don't fret, because the feeling part is more important. But if you can see it, great. Just get specific, and I'll be walking you through this. Feel it. Sometimes you cannot see your vision as well as you can feel it. This is true for you. Pay attention to the feeling part of the vision. For instance, if you ask yourself, what would it feel like to slip easily into a pair of pants I couldn't get into last year? What would it feel like to have my daughter put her arms all the way around me? So what's that feeling, and what's the emotion that it evokes? Those are the important things that we wanted. And if you have a hard time seeing things, you might focus on hearing it. You may be able to engage other senses like hearing. For instance, what will it feel like to hear how proud my husband is that I'm finally healthy. So I am going to do this. I'm gonna start with your long. So this is what we did in January for our beginning of the year sort of like refocus session in Monthly Mastery. We reverse engineered. So I'm going to start with your long-term weight mastery vision. So I'd like you to imagine yourself. So take a nice deep breath. Sorry, I didn't prep you. And if you are driving and listening to this, and obviously walking, you might want to just pause this and just do it when you get home. But if you're at home, you just want to sit down, get yourself comfy, and just take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes. And just take a moment to scan your body for any area, any feelings of tension. Just give yourself permission to be in your body now, to be present. And just notice your body wherever your bum is resting against, if you're laying on a couch or if you're in a chair or any other place on a couch. What are you resting up against? And notice that thing that you're resting against is supporting you fully, and that can signal to your subconscious mind that you can relax even more deeply. And just notice the texture and temperature of whatever is up against your feet. And notice the temperature in the air in the room around you. Good. And now, as you sit there with your eyes closed, just imagine yourself in a specific place 5 years from now. You have maintained your ideal weight. What are you wearing? Where are you? Who are you with? Are you alone or with other people? And just as you're doing this, you're imagining from the outside. So you're seeing yourself. What are you doing in the scenario? How do you feel emotionally? And now just imagine like you're stepping into your body in that vision. And how does your body feel? How does it feel to be in your body? How do the clothes feel pressing up against you? How is life different after maintaining your ideal weight for 5 years? How has your ideal weight impacted your long-term health? Are you healthier? How has it impacted your confidence and self-esteem? How has it impacted your feelings of self-mastery? How has your long-term weight release affected others in your life? How do they view you differently? How has your mastery affected them in a powerful and positive way? How has your weight mastery affected your community? How are you a leader for health in your life? And just take a nice deep breath in and really lock in that wonderful feeling, strength, confidence, power, and let it go. Just lock that in as an internal blueprint. Good. And now let's move up forward in time to creating your ideal weight vision. So now just imagine a specific place and time in the future when you have achieved your ideal weight. Imagine it fully as if you are really in the place and time right now. What are you wearing? Where are you? Who are you with? Are you alone? What are you doing? What are you doing in that scenario? How much weight have you released? And how now just imagine stepping into your body. So stepping into the feeling, being in your body now. And if you can't get this fully, that's okay. You can always come back to this recording and practice this more. So how do you feel? How does your body feel? How do the clothes feel hanging on your body at your ideal weight? What is your life like now that you've achieved your ideal weight? What dreams are you living? How have your relationships with yourself and your family and friends and others improved? How has your health improved? How have your finances improved? Just get a sense of that. Get a sense of that wonderful feeling of confidence. Again, we're looking for the emotion and feeling. And take that nice deep breath in and lock that wonderful feeling in, holding that as a blueprint in your subconscious mind. And now let's create that month vision. Imagine a specific place and time 30 days from now. And imagine you're in a specific place and time. And again, just what are you wearing? You've been releasing weight this month, exercising, making the right food choices for you. Where are you? What are you doing in the scenario? How much weight have you released? How do you feel? Step into your body and just notice, how does your body feel? How do the clothes fit on your body? How do they feel on your body? Good, and just take a nice deep breath in, locking that wonderful feeling of being healthy for the month, achieving your goals, being on track, and lock that in. Good, and now I want to give you the experience of a day. So imagine yourself, if you're listening to this in the evening, maybe you can picture tomorrow, but just imagine yourself at the end of today. And imagine yourself getting into bed and you've made the healthy food choices. You've said no to the things that were good to say no to, that would disempower you. You exercised and moved your body. Imagine how good you feel, how light, toned, really ready for a wonderful rest. And now I want you to think back over the day. What were the things that you did that allowed you to go to bed feeling so wonderful? Think about how your meals for the day. Where did they fall? How did you set yourself up for success? Did you bring food with you? Did you plan ahead? Did you drink water? Make sure that you were hydrated. Where was your exercise today? How did you make sure you were set up for success and followed through with that? Just think through your day like it was a roadmap from the beginning of the day through your morning into the afternoon. Are there any vulnerable times in the afternoon and evening you just want to make yourself aware of? Note like, okay, what do I need to do to make sure I'm not eating after dinner? Maybe I just, make sure I'm fasting from after dinner until the next morning. Clock that in your mind, or make sure you hide any or get rid of any sort of foods that are going to be a challenge for you, maybe at your office or on your desk. And then just imagine yourself once again, getting into bed tonight, feeling light, lean, that you really took care of yourself. and take that nice deep breath in and lock that in. Ready to go. Have an amazing day. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you got a feeling for what it feels like to kind of create some different visions. Like I said, I really like working on that idea of yourself at your long-term permanent. And that one was really one that I worked on very hard during my mastery journey. And even, obviously after I reached my ideal weight, I was like, I'm a person who I'm going to be 5 years, 10 years from now, I'm going to still be at my ideal weight. And I had to, have that vision and ask myself questions from that vision. I think what having a vision does is it also allows you to ask the right questions, because by asking yourself the right questions, so often the answers are only going to come if we ask questions. And so often what we're doing is reprimanding ourselves or yelling at ourselves or telling ourselves we're doing something wrong or you should do it like this, instead of like, how am I going to make it? How am I going to, I have a party this Friday night. How am I going to do it so I have fun, but I also eat healthfully and leave that party feeling light, like I want to feel Sunday night at the end of the weekend? That's a completely different way of engaging your brain than you better be good at that party on Friday, right? Totally different. So that's how you can start to use vision to questions to inspire you, to motivate you. And again, a long-term permanent weight management journey isn't about being good or bad, but it's really about changing the way you communicate with yourself. And creating these powerful visions is just a wonderful way to engage your brain. It's fun, but it's also very, very much a powerful framework of engaging your creative brain, your imagination, which is such an important piece of long-term permanent weight mastery, or any mastery journey, really. Okay. Well, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to remind you guys, this is the last week I'm offering my new free video series called The 3 Mental Shifts to End the Weight Struggle Once and for All. So please go sign up. It's really good. It has a little meditation. It has a little hypnosis. I think you're going to find it really enjoyable. It's only back because so many people were like, I missed that, or that was so good. Thank you so much. So that's why it's back. So thank you and have an amazing week. And remember that the key, and probably the only key to unlocking the door of the weight struggle, is inside you. So keep listening and find it. Thanks for listening to the Thin Thinking Podcast. Did that episode go by way too fast for you? If so, and you want to dive deeper into the mindset of long-term weight release, head on over to www.shiftweightmastery.com. That's www.shiftweightmastery.com, where you'll find numerous tools and resources to help you unlock your mind for permanent weight release, tips, strategies, and more. And be sure to check the show notes to learn more about my book, From Fat to Thin Thinking, Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss, and to learn how to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode.